Dr. Ashley Bloomfield said today combating Delta in the community is like dealing with a whole new virus. Then he gave us plenty of evidence why. 41 new cases, 38 in Auckland, 3 in Wellington and 148 all up. We now know the youngest positive case is not even a year old. The biggest cluster is at an Assembly of God church in Samoa in South Auckland, and the second biggest is being called the Birkdale Social Club on the North Shore. The numbers of locations of interest continue to explode, but thankfully hospitalisations remain low, just 8 with none in ICU. Health correspondent Lucy Warhurst begins our coverage.
This is Auckland in lockdown. Well, I guess the roads are free, even if we're not, except for the traffic congestion at testing stations. But they're crucial to finding cases.
So today I can report there are 41 new positive cases of COVID-19 in the community.
148 in total, a staggering 58 of them are connected to a gathering at a Samoan Assembly of God church in Mangere on Sunday the 15th of August.
It was essentially an assembly of the assemblies. So there were, I think, 27 different church groups who met for that service, and including some people who travelled up from Wellington.
Churches are high-risk settings, and here's why.
You obviously have a lot of people packed into an indoor environment. They often know each other well, so they may get quite close. And also there's a lot of singing. And singing is a great way to fire out virus particles. 3
of the new cases are in Wellington, all of them known close contacts, taking the total there to 11. Auckland has 38 new cases, 137 in total. The second largest subcluster is centred in Birkdale on the North Shore, known as the Birkdale Social Group. Containing the spread of this variant is much harder.
Combating Delta in the community is like dealing with a whole new virus.
It's like COVID-19 2.0.
It's still COVID-19, SARS-CoV-2. It's still transmitted the same ways, it just does it much better.
The border was always a risk to New Zealand, but now the Auckland outbreak could be a risk to returnees after a staff member at the Novotel and Ibis MIQ facility in Ellerslie tested positive.
Well, we're hoping to be home tomorrow afternoon, and at this point we don't know whether we will be or whether we could be here for another week or two.
Returnees at the facility received a letter this morning saying the worker was tested on August 20th after visiting a location of interest. Now they're trying to find out how the worker contracted the virus and whether it was passed on to anyone. Locations of interest have exploded to over 400, including more than 20 supermarkets, 9 malls, 8 schools, 7 cafes, 6 restaurants, 5 fitness centres, 4 churches, 3 cinemas, 2 universities and one heck of a lot of buses and trains. Thankfully, you can now search for locations and keywords so you know if you need to self-isolate.
We do know what actions will slow the spread of the virus, and we expect to see that slowing will begin to happen during this week.
All our efforts add up to keeping Delta down.